have all sorts of gadgets in their workshops to help them perform their workshop things a little bit easier. Ladies have gadgets in the kitchen to help them do things easier in the kitchen. So it only makes sense to know for shooters to have things to help in the ease of loading their magazines. Way back when I first started loading semi-automatic magazines, my thumbs got tired, and after about the fourth or fifth round, I just couldn't push it in. Push the thing down to load another round of ammunition in it.
Well,
so
the more ammo you put in it, the further the follower goes down, the
more difficult it's going to get.
That spring is more
right.
under more tension, so it's pushing up against your thumbs.
Right.
It's painful too sometimes.
So these speed loaders are really cool because they have a little tip on it that when and it's a little box, so it fits right over the magazine. So the little, I want to call it a tooth. When you press the whole box down, it presses the
follower.
The follower.
Right.
So then it allows you to put your next round in. But with the ones that came with our firearms, you were pressing from the top down on the follower. But I was introduced a couple of years ago to a really, really cool speed loader called, it's a Maglula. Maglula is the brand, and the specific one that I like is the Maglula because it's sort of a universal speed loader. It fits firearms from magazines from 9mm up to 45 caliber, and it still has a box thing that you press down, but the little tooth thing is not coming from the top; it's coming from the front. So it's easier when you're pressing the box of the speed loader down. You're squeezing it at the same time. So when you drop your cartridge in, you're not having to press the cartridge down like in the other speed loaders where it feeds from the top. So that's what's in my range bag. And today when we went to the range, we both went through, 2 or 3 boxes of ammo each. So that's 150 rounds. And it probably would have taken me a good 10 or 15 minutes to stop it just in reloading magazines for that many rounds of ammunition that we went through. But with the speed loader, it was boom, 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 and it was done.
Yeah, they're great. I love mine. It's really easy on the thumbs because it really does hurt especially when that spring starts getting compressed a lot, and it really makes it easier to load magazines up, which makes it for a more pleasant range trip too. And now this company, they make different kinds, right? Different kinds of loaders?
Well, they do make different kinds of loaders. They have the Lula, which is for the rifle magazine loader and unloader. The Maglula is what I like, that I have. They have the strip Lula, and it's a 10-round stripper clip and loose rounds loader and uploader. They have a bench loader. A bench loader is a heavy-duty single-stroke magazine loader. They have an X10 Lula, which is it's for magazines with a side button. Last week we talked about the Ruger Mark series. They have the button that you press down on the side. So this magazine loader is for the magazines with a side button. And the V10 Lula magazine loader is for loading larger, a locking loader for magazines with a side button.
I happen to actually know what Maglula stands for. It stands for Magazine Loaders and Unloader Accessories. I believe that's what it is.
Yes.
And it's from Israel. This guy who invented it is from Israel. And
he has a really cool background.
He does have a background. That's on their website. We're not going to bore you with all of his background, but while we were kind of doing a little research on this, we ran across that. He was an inventor, and he's
also in agriculture.
Yeah, he was basically in agriculture for a long time. Very, very unique background. So go on their website and check it out. You can find that in our show notes on our website. If you go to speakingofgunspodcast.com, we'll have all the links to everything that we talked about on our show notes. What are they, if you don't have one of those and you're still loading your magazines, even though this is not a new product, it's been on the market for a while, But if you're still loading your magazines just using your thumbs, do yourself a favor and get one of these. It's money well spent.
It really and truly is.
Well, it's almost time for our main topic, but before we get into that, let's have our song. Now, again, you may be familiar with the song itself, but perhaps not the lyrics. So let's take a listen.
Need some ammunition. We don't need no gun control. No gun-free signs up in the classroom. Teachers bring those guns along. Hey, teachers, bring them guns along. All in all, you need another gun on the wall. All in all, you need another gun on the wall. The Bill of Rights needs no revision. We don't need no gun control. No getting assaulted while in a church room. Preachers bring those guns along. Hey, preachers, bring them guns along. All in all, you need another gun on the wall. All in all, you need another gun on the wall.
All right, another gun on the wall. That was by somebody named Undergunned. I actually wrote the lyrics to that song and had this fellow named Undergunned do the song for me. He did a wonderful job. Good kudos to him. So our main topic is kind of an important one because, especially since we were on the range today. As it turned out, we were the only ones on the range today. When we were finishing up, it was a completely empty room except for just us. So that was kind of cool.
Well, there were a couple of people there as we came in, but after about 5 minutes, we had the rest of the range to ourselves. It was great.
Yeah, but our main topic is shooting range etiquette. You know, if you go to the range all the time, maybe you're familiar with some of these rules. If you don't get to the range very often, then you probably should familiarize yourself with them. And even if you do go to the range quite a bit, it's always good to get a reminder of them. So we have about, 10 or 15 of them here. Let's start with number 1 there, Jen.
Okay, the 4 rules of gun safety. We hope that everybody knows them, but even if you have been shooting for a very long time, you still have to make sure, you still have to know and implement all of the safety rules.
Exactly.
And the first one being, always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. So when you're at the gun range, that safe direction is downrange toward the target area. Do not turn around with the gun in your hand. The rule number 2.
Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
And rule number 3.
Always keep your gun unloaded. Of course, that does not apply to your defensive gun.
Yeah.
You want to always keep those loaded because an empty gun is pretty much a rock. You might as well carry a concealed rock.
Oh, yeah, concealed rock.
And what's rule number 4?
Rule number 4 is know your target and what is beyond.
Awesome.
So that's the first shooting range etiquette. Just remember and implement the 4 safety rules.
Number 2 on our list is listen to the range officer. Most ranges, if there's more than one person there, they will have a range officer assigned to it. And the duties of the range officer are to tell you when it's okay to shoot and when to cease fire. The RO, or range officer, is there for a reason. It's to make sure that everybody is on the same page. So you need to always pay attention to them and do as they say to ensure that the safety of everybody who's on the range.
That's their job. And number 3 is never touch any firearms during a ceasefire. If the range officer, the RO, has not come in to call a ceasefire, then of course the range is what we call hot, which means that everybody's in there, they're at the firing line, and they're ready to shoot. But once somebody comes in and calls a ceasefire, many outdoor ranges will call a ceasefire in like 15-20 minute intervals for people to go down range to change out their targets. So once the range officer calls a ceasefire, you are not to touch your firearm.
Number 4 is don't bother active target shooters. You know, when somebody else is shooting, leave them alone. If somebody is actively shooting, don't tap them on the shoulder or ask them any questions. And unless there's an emergency. Then obviously it's all right to say something, because even if it's your very first time being on a gun range, everybody there has a title, and that title is safety officer. So anytime that you see an unsafe situation, obviously you can call a ceasefire and let people know. They'll appreciate it.
And when Tim and I are in our lane shooting, we do not even bother each other. If we have not finished the magazine, if we've not finished the magazine and have laid our firearm down, we do not mess with them until they have finished shooting.
She waits to bother me until we get back home.
Okay, the next one down is don't shoot firearms that go against the range rules. Are you shooting at a 50-foot indoor range? If you are, don't bring your high-powered rifle and think it's okay to shoot, because that range is not equipped for that. If you're not sure, make sure you ask. Most indoor ranges, you have to check your firearms in before you enter the range. And if your firearm is not suitable for that range, they should tell you then. But you probably should check it out and know which firearms you can take to certain ranges.
Yeah, but, some indoor ranges are getting better, as far as their backstop area, and they can actually handle higher calibers. So if you don't know, ask before you go in.
Always ask.
Number 6 is one that I personally have a problem with, and